Introducing our last storyteller for the evening. Her name is Sam Walker. She is an award-winning broadcaster, and she also is a podcaster. So she works for BBC Radio, and the fun fact about her is that she interviewed James Bond.
Which one?
Roger Moore. I know. And he flirted with her. And I'm gonna try to do it with my English accent. And he said, "There's a free zone between us." He was 80 at the time. And her favorite song is "There Was Fear" by Dove. So introducing to the stage, Sam Walker.
Thank you so much, Annie, for inviting me this evening. My story that I'm telling for you tonight is really different to the ones we've heard. It's not about romantic love, it's not about finding that special person. I suppose in a way it's a little bit about finding yourself. Now, Jim Carrey once said that every decision that we make is either based in love or in fear. We decide to do something because maybe we're scared of what might happen if we don't. Or we choose to do something because doing it, even though it might be completely terrifying, in a way will help us grow, even if we end up ultimately failing. So 6 months ago, I chose love. Well, actually, a year ago, I suppose, I chose love while standing in a swimming pool in Phoenix, drinking a beer, and watching my children play with a giant inflatable flamingo. For the last, just goodness knows how many years, I really felt there was this uncomfortable feeling in my life that somehow my life wasn't the life I should be in, and that I should be living over there. Don't get me wrong, I had a really lovely life. I was really blessed, so fortunate. I was working, as Canu said, in BBC Radio. I had my own audio production company. I had a lovely house I worked really hard for, a husband I completely loved, 2 beautiful daughters. Life was really good. I did feel really lucky, but I just had that feeling. What if? What if? You know when you go on vacation and you have a great time when you're away, and then you get home and you think, oh, isn't it great to be home? I never felt that. And it wasn't just that I wanted to spend my whole life on a beach drinking cocktails, although come on, I mean, who wouldn't? But I just had that feeling that there was another place I should be, that there were people I should be meeting, there should be adventures I should be having, new experiences we could share as a family. But I really wished I didn't feel that way. Because standing still just felt easier, it felt safer. I was completely terrified, basically, of screwing up this lovely life I had for some imaginary life that might not even really exist. As a family, we kind of all felt it, that it was a bit like looking at a picture of an ocean as opposed to jumping in and swimming in that ocean. So we decided to dip our toe into the water, and we saved up like absolute crazy, and we took 3 months off work, and we took our 2 children to New York City, and then to Sydney. And it was the most incredible thing we'd ever done. We watched them grow as human beings, we watched them grow in knowledge and confidence and perspective of the world and meeting the different people that they had. And it was just a beautiful thing to see. And then we went home, and we thought, well, do you know what? Maybe that itch has been scratched. It had not. But actually, taking a chance felt completely and utterly terrifying. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Who's seen all those posters, those motivational posters we see everywhere? But you know what? What I didn't realise was how completely terrifying that fear actually is. And I was scared to quit my job. I was scared to leave my friends behind. I was scared to leave my home and my other friends, and I was scared that my children might not be happy. I didn't want to take them out of their comfort zone, because what if their life wasn't as great as I hoped it might be? And I just thought, do you know what, if thinking about taking a chance leaves me this petrified, how the heck am I ever going to actually take that chance? And a couple of years ago, actually, I started to think about an interview that I'd done as part of a podcast that I make called What Goes On Here, available wherever you get your podcast from. And I'd interview a guy called Craig. And Craig had been living in a life he absolutely hated. He was in a completely soul-sucking job, working as a receptionist in a car showroom. It wasn't him, it didn't fulfill his needs, his values, his dreams. He was living in an apartment that had actual rats in it. He was single, and then his landlord put up the rent, so he couldn't even afford the sucky apartment that he lived in. And he thought, well, what can I do? So what he did was, he quit his job, he walked out of his flat, and he moved into the local park. He actually lived on a bench and in bushes. And he took a pad of paper with him and some pens. And he said, I'm either going to die in this park, or I'm going to write a book, and I'm going to change my life. And he wrote a book, and he changed his life. And that book won prizes, and he now lives in an apartment which has no rats in it, with a wife, and with a beautiful son. And the fact is, I suppose, that he took a chance on a life he wanted, that he could only dream of, as opposed to fighting for a life that he actually hated. When I interviewed Craig, I said, what is it like, that process of taking a chance? And he just spoke so beautifully. And he said, taking a major chance in your life is a bit like jumping off the high diving board in a swimming pool. You look up at that board, and man, it is so far to go to get up there. And with every single step up all those ladders, you just feel that impending dread, because you know what's coming, you know you're going to have to jump off the top. But Craig said, you know what? The really funny thing is, the climbing up is the worst bit. Making the decision to take that first step is the worst bit. You think leaping off is going to be frightening, but in fact, when you're finally there, when you're on the edge of the board, jumping off isn't scary, it's exhilarating. And that really stuck with me, and I decided, okay, I'm going to really kind of try and channel this. So we put our home on a house swap website so we could go and stay places for free. Luckily, lots of people wanted to come and stay in Manchester, so we were really lucky. And we visited LA and San Diego and New York City and Boulder, and we loved all of these places. And then we did nothing about it, and we went home and felt completely trapped and frustrated again. We were too scared to take that first step on the diving board. And a friend of mine had moved to Phoenix, and I'll be honest, I didn't really know where Phoenix was. But he did the hard sell, and he talked about the saguaros and the mountains and the cacti and the incredible light you get for hours on end just before sunset. And my husband was like, let's go, that sounds great. And I was like, okay, well, let's go and have a look. So it was in Phoenix in June 2018 when I was standing in my friend's swimming pool with a beer in my hand, looking at saguaros and sunsets and that incredible sun. It was about 100 million degrees at the time. And my husband just looked at me. He said, this is it. This is the place. And so he grabbed his phone and he Googled his job and he found a recruitment website, and there and then, standing in the pool, he applied for a job. And it felt silly and frivolous, and we didn't really think anything more of it, but in fact, we'd taken the first step on the diving board. And it still felt a long, long way away, the edge of that diving board, obviously. And then he got an email from the company saying, can we have a conversation? And we were terrified. The fear, the panic, the excitement. What if he got the job? What if he didn't get the job? And then the job got withdrawn. And we were just devastated. And it made us realise, actually, we really wanted this more than I guess we ever thought we had wanted it. Then the company got back in touch, roller coaster, and said they couldn't find an American to do the job. They searched in the United States, they couldn't find anyone. Was he willing to come and talk to them?
Wow.
over, again, absolute fear, excitement, trepidation. And over the next few weeks and months, my husband would turn to me at random times of the day. Because he said, I need your gut reaction. I'm going to ask you a question. What's your gut reaction? Phoenix, yes or no? I could be in the shower. There'd be a banging on the door. Phoenix, yes or no? I'm washing my hair. Yes, okay. You'd be buying bread in the supermarket. Phoenix, yes or no? Yes, okay. Yeah. Or we'd be in a taxi coming home from a really wonderful night with our best friends, and he'd say, Phoenix, yes or no? No. It wasn't always a yes at all. Then he got an interview for the job, and the fear grew, and the dread grew, and then suddenly that top of that diving board really came into focus for the very, very first time. It became a real possibility. And it's weird because even when there's something you've really wanted for such a long time, when it becomes a possibility, that human, I suppose, drive to keep yourself safe from threat goes into overdrive. And there are times I couldn't think of a single reason why we'd want to leave our lives in Manchester. And my daughter then passed an exam to get into a really good school, a local school. And I thought, I can't do this, we can't disrupt her education. This is meant to be, she's gone into this school. Phoenix, yes or no? No, it's not doing it. And then there was a program on the radio talking in detail about the kind of crazy world that we live in now and how the next generation are going to face such huge challenges. I mean, politics is so divisive. What's society going to look like in a decade or 2 decades' time? In the UK with Brexit, would we even have an economy? Would our kids ever afford to rent their own home, let alone buy their own home? They surely wouldn't have a job for life. In fact, the jobs they would do probably haven't even been invented yet. They haven't been created. And the one thing all these experts said at the end of this big long discussion was the best thing that you can do for your kids is to teach them not to be afraid of change. The best thing you can do is teach them to adapt, to take chances and not be afraid of taking chances. Phoenix, yes or no? Yes. I realised all the times that I said no to that question, it was through fear. I was afraid I'd be lonely, that I wouldn't make any new friends. I was afraid my children would be unhappy, that my husband's job wouldn't work out the way he hoped it would be. But every time I said yes, it was through love, to give my children these tools to go out into the big bad world when they leave home in 5-10 years' time. To watch my husband grow and do the things he really loves to do, to fulfill the dream that I had of going and travelling and exploring and meeting new people and trying new things that actually really terrified me. And I thought, if you're not prepared to follow your dreams, how can you tell your children to go and follow theirs? Maybe it would work out, but at least we tried. So 5 months after we sat in the pool, my husband got the job. Phoenix, yes or no? Then the long, very slow, incredibly painful visa application process. Oh, it is real. Who knew following your dreams involved quite so much admin? Man. Then a podcasting company that I'd done some work with in LA said they wanted to sponsor me. And suddenly, things that seemed completely impossible, again, seemed a bit more possible. Then my husband woke me up at 4 a.m, playing a song really loudly into my ear from his mobile phone. The Eagles, Take It Easy. You know the tune about I'm standing on the corner in Winslow, Arizona. He yells at me, Phoenix, yes or no? Yes. He went, good, I've just got my work visa. So, I can tell you, I'm not ashamed to say, when I wrote the resignation letter for a job I had worked so hard to get, I was shaking. When I had to tell my kids' school that they wouldn't be returning in the new year, I was really, really upset. And saying goodbye to my dad, even thought of saying goodbye to my dad, who lived so close to us, was just almost unbearable. But there we were. The diving board was suddenly really close. Could we walk to the edge, essentially? Because we were right on it. And then I thought again about the conversation I'd had with Craig. And he said to me at the time, what do you want to do? What are your dreams? And I said, well, I've just got this kind of crazy dream of going and living in the States and exploring and just seeing what happens. And it just seems so ridiculous and unreal. And he said to me, but think about it. We don't all have the same dreams. Your dream isn't the same as your dream. Your dream is not the same as your dream. So what if your dreams aren't dreams? What if your dreams are your real life calling you? So listen to your dreams, climb up onto that diving board. Make a decision based in love and not in fear. Take a chance. And I don't know what the future holds. I have no idea where I'm going to be living in 5 years. I don't know what I'm going to be doing. But I suppose actually, if we really think about it, do any of us? So on May the 4th this year, our little family sat in a row on a 747 holding hands. And as the engine started up, I just started sobbing. Can you tell I'm a crier? I started sobbing. And then as the wheels started turning, my stomach started really churning. And as the wheels took off, as the plane left the country I've lived in my whole life, as the IS jumped off the diving board, I swear to you, my husband looked at me and said, Phoenix.
Invite all the storytellers to come up front so we can do a final bow. And while they're coming up, again, I want to thank you so very much from the bottom of my heart for taking this time to come spend this evening with us. So thank you, thank you.